Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, amazingly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Thursday, February 8th, 2024. This is live stream number 1018. If you're not overly familiar with the show, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. And we'll usually get into something that's been cooking in our hobby as well. But we are certainly not engaged in any sort of rocket surgery or anything along those lines. Like I said, just super casual. But I do want to remind you, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, because this is a live show, there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. Yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you'd like to say howdy, maybe you've got a question, a comment, maybe there's a topic you'd like to tackle after the news portion of the show, chime in. I will do my best to respond. First out the gate tonight is the Motor City Madman himself. Yes, one of our chat moderators, the Madman, is with us. Kabuki Kid, Preston Powell, W. Forge, and Kevin King are popping into chat early in the show, so welcome aboard, everyone. I will take a guess that Sarah D is probably lurking in the shadows as well. So we got a nice chat off and running. And Preston Powell points out I am wearing a cool Black Hawks jersey. Yes, this is the alternate Black Hawks jersey. Yes, I didn't wear Black Hawks stuff for a couple of years because of the nonsense the team had been involved with. But everybody who was associated with that are gone. Even the players, so no one remains from that regime or from those rosters. So I can kind of go back to supporting one of the absolute worst teams in the NHL at the moment. So, although that Connor Bedard kid looks pretty good. He's got busted jaw right now, but he's looking pretty good. Jose Fernandez is also popping on in. Good to see you. Let's jump on into the news because April will bring a new war game from Ares Games and Jester Games. And here's what I know about Barbarian Kingdoms. Embark on an epic journey through the tumultuous era of the fall of the Roman Empire with Barbarian Kingdoms, an asymmetrical and competitive strategy game meticulously crafted by Christophe Lebrun and brought to life by Jester Games. And it will be released in North America by way of Ares Games. In this riveting experience, players seize control of nascent kingdoms, diving into a relentless quest for supremacy over Western Europe as the Hun horde sweeps across the continent. As the Roman Empire crumbles, players are immersed in a chaotic struggle for domination, striving to lead their burgeoning kingdoms through the transition from antiquity to the Middle Ages. Reclaiming warriors, collecting taxes, recruiting warriors, collecting taxes, assaulting provinces, maneuvering units, and claiming territories are strategic actions crucial in the race to be the first to control 7 or eliminate 2 rival kings. The game offers balanced asymmetry, ensuring different strategies and high replayability. The game's mechanics blend conquest, bluffing, and diplomacy, emphasizing strategic skill over chance. This innovative game introduces a refreshing economic twist, seamlessly blending recruitment, expansion, and combat actions with crucial strategic economic decisions. Experience a depth of strategic intricacies and economic nuances that define barbarian kingdoms as you navigate this pivotal period in European history. Barbarian Kingdoms is for 3 to 6 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 30 to 90 minutes. Obviously, that's going to depend on the player count. And it's going to carry an MSRP of $49.90. Yes, that is that strange 90 cents that Ares Games likes to have as their MSRPs. Anyway, it'll carry an MSRP of $49.90 when it arrives in April. Gotta say, it kind of sparked my interest here with this. I like the fact that it's got a variety of different avenues to approach as far as how you're going to win. So you can control 7 different territories, or you can eliminate 2 of your rivals. So I guess we do have player elimination in this game. So that may not, be up the alley of some people out there. I don't mind player elimination as long as it's not something where you're going to sit around for 2 hours with nothing to do, waiting for a game to wrap up. In those cases, I am not a fan of player elimination at all. But once again, this is Barbarian Kingdoms, arriving in April from Ares Games and Jester Games. Lord Cost 2000, Travis Williams, and Tesco Love are popping on into chat. Welcome to all 3. And Tessie Trekkie and Kathy Evans are also with us. So Tessie Trekkie says, what's that you say, Lassie? Billy's fallen down the old well and broke his leg? Good. That's what he gets for killing my 11th level cleric Blackleaf. Well, don't bring Lassie in it. Lassie had nothing to do with that. I got a lot of role-playing game news tonight, so I am going to jump right into the tabletop role-playing game news because Modiphius Entertainment has begun to take orders for the latest Star Trek Adventures source book. And this is what I know about the Federation Klingon War Tactical Campaign. The Federation Klingon War Tactical Campaign expands upon the core Star Trek Adventures role-playing game experience by providing a campaign that parallels the Klingon war story depicted in the first season of Star Trek Discovery. This tactical campaign enables you and your group to explore what was happening elsewhere in the Federation during this perilous time. With a plethora of additional rules variations to embrace the emotional toil of being thrust into a war, this campaign gives you the tools to build exciting narratives during the war. Additionally, this book includes rules for an all-new procedurally generated campaign overlay that gives players the opportunity to take on the roles of admirals, assigning assets to deal with Klingon threats across the galaxy. How will war take its toll on you and your allies? The Federation Klingon War Tactical Campaign is a 232-page full-color hardback book and contains an extensive discussion of the state of the galaxy before and during the Federation Klingon War in 2256 and 2257. an in-depth look at 12 wartime roles, along with how typical Starfleet roles change during wartime. A new system that applies scars to characters, representing the toll war has had on them. 15 new talents, focusing on both the tactical and diplomatic theaters of war. More than 25 named starships, Federation and Klingon, that were part of the war effort. 6 new playable species. Get ready for me to mispronounce all these. Ready? Strap in. Including Anar, Arcadian, Areolo, Betelgeusian is what I think it's supposed to be. Corridanites and Megarite. Margarita right. Yeah, hey. Over 20 war-focused mission briefs, including tactical, routine, exploration, and unknown mission options. A wealth of advice on game mastering wartime campaigns and ensuring all players feel safe while playing in war campaigns. An optional campaign overlay that puts the players in the role of admirals while making decisions about the war effort, as well as optional rule sets that enhance the tactical side of role-playing. This book does require the Star Trek Adventures core rulebook. You'll receive the accompanying PDF immediately upon your purchase. Now, this 232-page hardcover with PDF can be pre-ordered for $51.43. That's an approximation, I'm sure, because of the exchange rate, but that is the pricing on the U.S. store. And strangely enough, sometimes the U.S. Modiphius Entertainment store has a lower price than what you see the MSRP from online retailers, and then sometimes it's got a higher MSRP. So there is that. But, of course, you do get that free PDF with it. And the hardcovers are going to ship out in March. Now, according to Modiphius Entertainment, you will receive the PDF after your order is placed. Now, I should mention, I have not seen this yet on DriveThruRPG. I would have to assume that we are going to see it within the next few days. I'm going to take a guess. MSRP on that for the PDF is probably going to be either $24.99 or $29.99. That is my guesstimation on that. Looks like a very interesting book. Does fall into that Discovery timeline, and I know some folks out there are not necessarily big Discovery fans. So, but I guess if you're going to play this, you're going to have to make sure that your Klingons speak very slowly. W. Ford says, I'm not a big fan of the Star Trek Discovery timeline and history, and neither is Tesco Love, but they said the campaign structure sounds fun. Coco B is with us in chat. Areola, what? And Kevin King, I think I said hello to Kevin already. I'm pretty sure I did. Kevin King says they'd like the war with the Romulans from between Enterprise and the original series detailed. That'd be pretty cool. I have to say, as far as the Star Trek releases that have come out from Modiphius Entertainment, they cover a lot of territory. They really, really do. And one of the cool things that, at least in my opinion, is that usually they will have a variety of different timelines available. So, as an example, the core rulebook doesn't only focus on, say, Next Generation or the original series or, well, I don't think they've actually started to cover Strange New Worlds yet. I think they have ironed out the licensing on that. I am not positive. But that's one of the cool things I think about many of the Star Trek Adventures releases. And like a lot of the adventures and stuff that come out can be utilized in any of those settings. So your favorite series can be tackled. Chris Lundgren points out, I love the series Lower Decks. I've wondered if it's any good for the role-playing game. There is a source book for it. I know that. I have not had an opportunity to take a look at it. Last night, we were talking about the 2D20 system, and I did mention Star Trek Adventures tends to be one of the less crunchy options as far as the 2D20 system. Matthew Constantine is with us. Says, howdy y'all, likely just passing through, but yay, Star Trek. Still haven't picked up this version of the role-playing game, though. Keep your eyes peeled. Every once in a while, it does pop up on sale. So I don't think I have seen a bundle of holding or a humble bundle for it. But every once in a while, you'll see the core rule book for Star Trek Adventures have a pretty good discount going on for it. Tesco Love says, we all know the Orville is better than any recent Star Trek anyway. I like the Orville. I do. I would argue, though, episode by episode, if we were stacking them up next to each other, I think Strange New Worlds is a stronger show than the Orville. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. And sadly, it's looking more and more unlikely that you are going to see another season of the Orville. Although Seth MacFarlane hasn't completely wrote it off, but yeah, I don't know. Tessie Trekkie says, I particularly to run, I guess it's probably, I would particularly like to run a Mirror Strange New Worlds game where the space musical phenomenon didn't get reversed. Matthew says, I love Strange New Worlds, my favorite Trek since the original series. Tesco Love says, hot takes coming from the gaming gang. I don't know how hot the takes are. Chris Lundgren asks if I ever liked Babylon 5. I watched when it first premiered, I watched a few episodes of it. I didn't get into it. And I know people have told me, Jeff, you got to give it a chance. Give it a chance. And I'm like, one of these days. I am always like way behind as far as binge watching different stuff. So like right now, I am binge watching Sex Education on Netflix. Because a lot of people told me, it's pretty funny, you should watch it. And I was like, okay. So I'm in the second season. It's fine. It's all right. Travis Williams says, lukewarm takes. Yeah, that's closer. That's closer. Tessie Trekkie says, I wonder if Modiphius could apply Star Trek Adventures to the Orville. Well, I would not think that you would see that as a supplement for Star Trek Adventures. It is possible that they could kind of tweak it and release a role-playing game for the Orville. Travis Williams says, Red Dwarf is a great science fiction show. I watched some of that way, way back in the day. All right, on to my next news piece. Now available in print from Runehammer Games is Crown and Skull. Here's the scoop on this new fantasy role-playing game. Welcome to Crown and Skull Volume 1, a new role-playing game system and setting from Runehammer. Core rules, dice-driven enemy tactics, comprehensive GM tools, 40 original monsters, a massive transversable world, and huge loot tables await you in these pages. This book is thick with story and puts the player at the controls. For game masters, a convention-breaking set of resources and techniques to go into the unknown with your players. No stats, no hit points, no telling what may unfold. The rule system in Crown and Skull will prove a significant departure from the mechanics and methods that have seen such meteoric growth in recent years. As such, settle in for a brain-tickling ride into new frontiers. If you feel challenged by the player-focused aspects of this book, the prep-free GM style, that means you're in the sweet spot. Which will you choose? The Crown or the Skull? Crown and Skull has a deep point-by-character creation system and player-made combat roles that put the player center stage. You'll find everything you need to build fully custom characters, custom equipment, and even spells built from scratch, all to code, all by the same rule set. If you're looking to jump right into a game, a handful of character templates are included, along with rollable character prompts to thrust you into the dangerous world of the Northholds with no delay. The 356-page hardcover with digital game pack, PDF, virtual tabletop assets, etc., carries an MSRP of $50, or you can grab just the digital game bundle itself, which obviously enough is going to have that rulebook PDF. You can grab that for $30. Yes. So if you're not overly familiar with Runehammer, they are the creators of the index card role-playing game, which I have reviewed. I have even shared a why you should play index card role-playing game video. I think it is that good. And from my understanding, the creator has stated that this is their piece de résistance. This is the summit of their role-playing design. And this is supposed to be a big, big deal. So I am curious. I really do like the art style with some of the illustrations that I ran across that I am sharing here. I don't think this is a book that's just jam-packed with images, though. And I will point out, as far as index card role-playing game, I would say on a page-by-page basis, there are probably more interesting ideas packed into that rule book than just about any other role-playing game release that I can think of. Now, would I necessarily use every aspect of the index card role-playing game? No. No, I would not. But there's a lot really cool to it. And this is not like a sequel or something like that to index card role-playing. This is its own game. So as far as I understand, this will be the focus now for Runehammer. So I know they also released Easy D6 role-playing, but I think that was designed by DM Scotty. Off the top of my head, I have not had an opportunity to take a look at that game. I would love to have an opportunity to check this out and do a review video and such. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Coco B says their copy of Crown and Skull shipped yesterday. They are eagerly awaiting it. Tessie Trekkie says, I really, really hope this game is novel. I would think so. I would think so because Hanker Infernale, among the various different monikers, the creator of index card role-playing and this, he is a pretty original cat, I guess I will say, which is a good thing. I don't mean that in any sort of derogatory sense. But I mean, he's like an idea generator. He really is. I have caught some of his videos from time to time. It's been a while. It's been quite some time since I saw one of the Runehammer videos, but they're always just packed to the gills with like interesting ideas you might want to apply at your game table. 245 Trioxin is with us tonight. Good to see you, as is another of our chat moderators, Flaming Huron. And I believe I did see Sarah D pop on out and say hello. So we've got a trio of chat moderators with us tonight. 245 Trioxin says, it's amazing how much Runehammer puts out, considering it's one guy. I know. Pretty wild. Preston Powell says this has an interesting attrition health/armor system, right? Because it's mentioned there are no hit points. Which makes me wonder, does that mean that as the battle progresses, as combat progresses, do you start taking on various different conditions? Kind of curious, battered, things like that. Kind of curious. And I do know an aspect of Runehammer role-playing games is to put more of the dice rolling into the hands of the players as opposed to the game master. All right, let's move on to our next news piece, because last night I talked about the early Champions bundle of holding. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the second Hero Games bundle of holding. There are actually now 3. One is a magazine bundle. But here are the deets on the early Hero System bundle. A 2-headed hero. We've resurrected 2 November 2018 offers featuring the early years of the Hero System tabletop role-playing game lines from Hero Games. This spectacular early Hero System bundle gives you 5 of Hero's vintage non-superhero role-playing games, together with all their supplements and adventures for an unbeatable bargain price. Using the all-encompassing Hero rules, these games and supplements are compatible with the many superheroic titles in the companion bundle that's in progress right now, Early Champions, which presents the 3 early editions of, you guessed it, Champions, the super role-playing game. For just $9.95, you'll get all 7 complete standalone role-playing games in this revived offers game collection, which has a retail value of $52.50 as DRM-free PDFs. There's Espionage, Danger International, plus the introductory adventure Merchants of Terror, Fantasy Hero First Edition, Justice Inc., Star Hero First Edition, and Robot Warriors. And if you pay more than the current threshold price of $25.34, you'll level up and also get this revival's entire supplement collection with 12 more titles worth an additional $77.50. You'll get 3 Justice Inc. books, Aaron Alston's pioneering Lost Worlds campaign supplement, Lands of Mystery, and the 2-fisted pulp adventures, The Adventure of the Jade Jaguar and Trail of the Gold Spike. 5 Espionage/Danger International books, Border Crossing, Here There Be Tigers, Mugshots 2, Shadow over Scotland, and the Origins award-winning campaign Sandbox by Michael A. Stackpool, Stormhaven. Plus, 3 Fantasy Hero supplements, Magic items, Mythic Greece, The Age of Heroes, and the Spellbook, plus the original version of the Hero System Bestiary, written for the pre-4th edition rules, plus Robot Gladiators, the sole supplement for Robot Warriors. Strangely enough, it says, if you pay more than the threshold price of $25.34, you'll get 12 more titles. It just felt like that was way more than 12 that I just read off. I know it's only 12, but it felt like it was more. These savings run through February 26th, just like the Early Champions bundle. And 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. So I originally had Justice Inc. I remember picking that up because I was, of course, running Call of Cthulhu, and I was always kind of taking a look to see if I can, crib stuff from other games. So, of course, it was a pulp game. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm trying to remember I think it was Espionage that I picked up. I don't recall having Danger International, but I think I had picked up Espionage. So, very interesting. Plenty of role-playing game goodness in these two bundles that are currently running. And then the other bundle is for digital magazines. So digital copies of the various magazines. And I think some of the Heroes Games magazines were only digital or are only digital. But as far as I recall, taking a peek, I think it's 82 issues of various different magazines. And I think one of them is champion-centric. And I think there's 40 issues of it, something like that. So pretty wild. It is pretty wild. Stephen from Roll for Combat is joining us, as is Mankcam. I believe this might be Mankcam's first visit with us. Coming to us from Australia. So, Flaming Heron's country of origin. And that's where he resides. So, let's move to our last news piece for the night. Cubicle 7 Games, yes, they are now referring to themselves as Cubicle 7 Games, not Cubicle 7 Entertainment. And I got to be honest, I would have probably preferred to see them stick with Cubicle 7 Entertainment. It just seems a little more fancy. Regardless, they are in their final week for the Vault 5e Crafting and Alchemy Kickstarter. Here's the skinny. Crafting and Alchemy, 2 brand new 5th edition supplements to make your mark on the world. Forge legendary weapons and armor using hammer and anvil, and brew fantastical and deadly potions and poisons with mortar and pestle. What's in these books? Forge your weapon to slay the monster plaguing your hometown, or brew a powerful elixir to save the life of someone you love. Design and experiment using magic and ingenuity to create something truly unique. Hammer and anvil and mortar and pestle give you the freedom to create anything you can imagine and bring them into your 5e games. So with Hammer and Anvil, forge unique weapons and armor unlike anything the world has ever seen. Your great work may start as a humble longsword, but with the right equipment and materials, you'll be able to craft a legendary blade capable of cleaving reality in two and summoning an ethereal being to serve by your side. Forge custom weapons and become a legendary weaponsmith with Cubicle 7's new weapon forging system. Craft new armor for you and your party with the armor forging rules. Your tailoring and modifications will ensure a perfect fit for you and your allies. Turn mundane gear into artifacts of legend with the magic item enchanting rules. Use your arcane talents to enhance the weapons and armor you craft, or team up with a powerful spellcaster to create potent magical effects. Then there's mortar and pestle. Brew potions, poisons, and elixirs for every occasion. Plant your own magical garden to grow the priceless herbs you need, or gather your party to hunt down terrifying monsters and harvest rare components. The alchemy system allows you to concoct a brand new range of bizarre potions, mix reagents and refine alchemical components to create invigorating potions to bolster your allies. For more sinister adventures, the new poisons will give you a lethal edge. Prepare toxic venoms to make every strike a deadly one and leave your foes debilitated. Hunt monsters and harvest rare magical components to use in your concoctions. Tend your own garden. Plant the seeds and watch them grow as you cultivate a range of vibrant and bizarre flora to use in your brews. There is a short, about a minute long video that will give you a little bit of a closer look into the crafting and alchemy Kickstarter from Cubicle 7. So let's take a peek.
For too long, adventurers have put up with the same old boring weapons, armor, and potions. Your character deserves better. That's why Cubicle 7 brings you Crafting and Alchemy for 5th edition. Awesome customized weapons, ingenious gadgets, potions for every occasion, a cloak that goes swoosh and gives you a +1 AC. Forge, customize, and enchant. Brew potions of unparalleled power and complexity. Unleash your creativity. It's time to give your character the equipment they deserve.
The Vault 5e Crafting and Alchemy Kickstarter has passed the 1,000% funding mark, and you can reserve copies of both books in hardcover with PDFs for a pledge of approximately $81, or get just the PDFs for a pledge of approximately $44 through February 14th. Expected delivery on the PDFs is this April, with the hardcovers to follow in December. W. Forge points out, I was a little disappointed in the Uncharted Journeys book by Cubicle 7. I hope you get to do a review of these books in the future. Also, their other book, A Life Well Lived. You know, strangely enough, in the Kickstarter kind of sell sheet info, it says, from the company that brought you Uncharted Journeys and A Life Well Lived, Broken Weave. And it's kind of funny because it's like, well, A Life Well Lived and Broken Weave aren't out yet. So why would you say from the company that brought you? Because you haven't brought it yet. And I will be very honest too. I was not all that knocked out by Uncharted Journeys either. To me, it was just a lot of random tables, which, in my opinion, random tables provide random gaming. So not to say that I don't like random tables of some sort. In fact, I discussed this on Roll for Combat with Mark and Steven pretty recently. But a lot of times just random stuff makes everything just seem discombobulated. In my opinion, that's all. So I don't know if I'll have an opportunity to check these out or not. I touched base with the new, in fact, funny enough, I touched base with the new marketing person from Cubicle 7 earlier today because they were supposed to be shipping out a bunch of stuff. And I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't gotten any sort of email, because usually I'll get an email with a tracking number. Didn't get anything. So I reached out and just, wanted to check. So she wrote back, said, well, let me check with the warehouse. Then emailed me back, said, no, they haven't sent it yet. So we should be seeing some Cubicle 7 stuff soon. It's like we should be seeing some stuff from Free League Publishing. I don't know what's going on there, because we were supposed to see the new Alien book. Well, I shouldn't say book. It's a box set. Building Better Worlds. It is a box set, isn't it? I think it is. I think it's a book. As well as the two releases for the Walking Dead universe. Don't know. I don't know. So we'll see. We shall see. I do have to chuckle with that video we saw. I'm just being honest, right? You know I am friends with folks at Cubicle 7 Entertainment, and I promote them all the time. I got to say, that video didn't really get my juices flowing. Especially the part where it's, what was it? Oh, this cloak goes swoosh and adds +1 to your armor class. And I thought, that's a selling point? That magic item is a selling point? Anybody could be like, oh, okay, so this cloak adds 1 to your armor class. Chris Lundgren is talking about a new role-playing game, a Wild West role-playing game called Cow Punchers. I have heard of it. I have not seen it. So I know Chris was asking if I would do a review of it. I'll do a review of it if it gets sent my way. But I do not go out and purchase review copies of stuff. Just I don't have the funds to do it. So I rely on publishers to send review copies of stuff. So I don't even go out and like buy games that I'm like, wow, I'd really like to get that. I don't even have the opportunity to do that. So unless I run across something that's in a liquidation sale, sometimes I'll see stuff like, say, on Miniature Market. They do liquidation sales from time to time. So it's like, oh, so that's $8 and it's normally $60. And I was interested in that. Yeah, okay. I'll pick it up. All righty. So the dispatch will continue in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for us to take a brief
snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over open pits of glowing charcoal, then season with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully mild to please the entire family. Also at the snack bar, you'll find popcorn and soft drinks and candy and French fries to go with your Castleberry's barbecue sandwiches. There's plenty of time before the movie starts, so visit our snack bar right now for Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches.
Who is the ale man? Who can he be?
Colin Ratsey, famous sail manufacturer, company president, ale man. A man with a thirst for a manlier brew. Day is done, the race is won. Now hear this, all hands on deck for enjoyment. And that could only mean ale, Ballantine ale. Ballantine, the ale man's ale. Bolder, keener, more to the point. The choice of 3 out of 4 ale men among all national brands. Let Ballantine make an ale man out of you.
Who is the ale man? He could be you. A man with a thirst for a manlier brew. 3 out of 4 men every time choose the bolder, keener tasting ale. Ballantine.
Have some Wilkins coffee?
Well, I say, I'll take some.
Surprising how many people are switching to Wilkins coffee.
Who Who's the McFunniest hamburger clown? Who knows where good food can be found? Hamburger, shakes, and fries, filet of fish, and apple pies. Ronald McDonald.
Now you can get Valentine's at participating McDonald's. One from Ronald for you, and 5 others you can send to your friends.
Spending on smart, huh? I am not.
Wonekins lives! Bruised and battered, but he lived. Yes. Coco B says, Wilkins Coffee, official coffee of the Mafia. Yes. GameCat is with us in chat. I think I've said hello to everyone so far tonight. So welcome aboard to all of you hanging out in chat. So I should point out, even though I really didn't mention Drive-Thru RPG tonight, the gaming gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG or Dungeon Masters Guild, Storyteller's Vault, Wargame Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I will get a small portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, then you can always stop on by paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. And the madman Kevin King and Marius Smith recently stopped on by paypal.me, and have to point out, Kevin and the madman made not small donations. So big thank you to all of you out there, regardless if you happen to use the banner ads or if you go to paypal.me or if you do both. Thank you very, very kindly. All right. So if you follow me on social media, I shared earlier today a Zeet. I had mentioned it on Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky. So if you happen to join Blue Sky, by all means, take a look for the Gaming Gang or look for Jeff McAleer. I am over on there as well. Anyway, so I had pointed out that we got to get more people watching the show. Now, they don't have to watch live, but I got to have more viewers, because if we're pulling in fewer than 300 viewers per live show, as much as I enjoy interacting with everybody in chat, fewer than 300 views is pretty sad, especially considering we now passed 12,500 subscribers on YouTube. Personally, I don't get it. It's like, hey, I'm going to subscribe to the channel, but I'm not going to watch any of the videos. So I had to chuckle. Well, I'll chuckle in a minute. Lenny Blade is joining us, saying hello from Thailand. Welcome. Welcome to you, Lenny. I think Lenny popped in, wasn't it last week? I think for the first time. Good to see you. Good to see you. Anyway, I had to chuckle because I had people comment or email me what I needed to change. And most of them meant well. But the funny thing is, every single one of them was different. So one person said, I need to bring back the first looks. I need to bring back the first looks to the live show. That was the only reason why they tuned in, was for the first looks. Got to be honest, I don't know if that's really the case, because we did first looks of role-playing games, first looks at war games, first looks at just regular board games. Can't tell me somebody was interested in all of that, always watching. But still, okay. So they said, bring back the first looks. Somebody else said that reviews for role-playing games should be done by people who have actually played the role-playing game, because otherwise those reviews aren't trustworthy. So I did comment on that. That's actually on YouTube. And I commented that they needed to change their phrasing, because their comment was questioning my honesty and integrity. And I will not tolerate that. Now, I can understand if people feel that, a reviewer should run a role-playing game before they review it. I get it. I completely understand that. But I also have a counterpoint to that, because there are people out there who share reviews of games that they have played. Isn't Seth, is it Skorkowski or Sorkowski? I always mispronounce his last name. Really good content. Seth makes some really, really fun videos. I haven't watched too many as of late, but I did watch from time to time. I think he runs the adventures for Call of Cthulhu and Traveler. I think those are two main games that he reviews. But there are other outlets out there who do review games that they've run. But the thing is, you know how many awful game masters there are out there? Here's something else to float out there. What about the people who only review D&D stuff? If all you have as a point of reference is Dungeons and Dragons, which we see this from some outlets who are always, Planescape is wonderful, wonderful. It's not. Are you going to be able to trust that review? I mean, granted, I have to point out, I do not run these books. I read through them, but I also have over 40 years of experience as a game master. So I do have some knowledge that I'm basing the reviews on. So that was another comment. Then I had somebody comment saying that the videos are too long and that I should timestamp every news piece so that they can select what they want to watch. Yeah, I'm going to jump right on that. So, and like I said, these people, I'm sure the majority of them were sharing these comments, to be helpful, not to be assholes. I'm sure there were a few who are just assholes, but that's fine. We understand that, because we understand how the web works. So I did get the shows are too long, and I need to cut this part out. So I should only do the news and then have really no interaction with people in chat. That'll give me more viewers. Then I had somebody else comment that the shows aren't long enough, that shows should be about an hour and a half always. It's kind of like, okay. So it's like all these people are like, oh, do this, do that, do this, do that, do that. None of them agree. And the thing is, I did float out polls asking people if they wanted to see just a live show with just the news. And of course, this interaction. Or if they wanted me to keep the additional first looks and stuff like that. And the vast majority of people who voted in these polls said they just wanted the news. The live show to just be the news, because a lot of people said, well, that's what I show up to watch. I don't really care about the first looks and stuff like that. It's like, so anyway, but the reality is I got to pull in more views. I got to average at least 300, 350 is really what I would want to see. And interestingly enough, the first episode that I did where it was just the news with the new format pulled in over 500 views. I was very surprised. And then shows were pulling about 400. And then we started dipping into 3-something. And then last night's show this morning hadn't even cracked 200 views, and which is what led me to that posting. So, it's mainly just, I feel that I just spin my wheels here. That's all that's going on is just kind of spinning my wheels. Then I'll see recommendations of stuff that it's like, who is that? And it's and the video quality is awful. I don't even click on the video to watch it. I'll just see like the preview that starts playing on YouTube. And it'll be something where it's like, what the hell is that? Why is this being recommended to me? But it's gaming related. And it'll be 2 days old and it has 40,000 views. And it's not like 5e D&D related. And it's sort of like, how the hell did this person who's shooting this video on a phone in front of like a blank wall, how did they get all these views? Chris Lundgren says, Jeff, you don't need to buy the wine to know it's a good wine. Just tasting is good enough. Kevin King says, I'm primarily interested in the news and then secondarily the reviews, but probably do not represent the needed demographic. I don't know what the hell the demographic would be. Viper Dave is with us. Good to see you, Viper Dave. Travis Williams points out I should focus on how Wizards of the Coast can kick rocks. Well, they've canceled the live-action Dragonlance. I guess people are pissed about that. Chris Lundgren says, then they can run their own channels. That's usually my reaction is, you can always go invest your time, money, and energy into doing your own videos. And you can do exactly what you want. W. Forge says, I like the interaction. Validates my existence. I know. Viper Dave says, can't you tell by how long people watch your videos to see when they leave? Yes and no. It's not as clear-cut as you would think. Because you also have to keep in mind, there are people that stop watching who then pick up the show to watch again later on. Kevin R. Smith is popping on in. Mark Mancam, I should say, says, I'm here because there's hardly any Wizards of the Coast D&D here. I also reckon the show's current format is great. The banter works, makes this channel stand out. Well, I can tell you one thing. I can pretty much guarantee just about everybody hanging out in chat and watching live is over the age of 30. So there is that as well. So Madman says, too many people nowadays won't be happy unless things are exactly the way they want it. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Travis Williams says, in my opinion, at the end of the day, what truly matters is you enjoy doing the live stream and making videos. And I do. I do enjoy doing this. But you also remember, as I pointed out previously, I don't really make money doing this. So, as an example, and I've been transparent with what I pull in as far as everything having to do with the gaming gang, and that's advertising, doing Kickstarter previews, all that kind of stuff. Oh, like drive-through RPG, all that stuff. So if I have a video that pulls in about, let's say, 300 views, which seems to kind of be the thing now with my channel, is about 300 views, usually. Doesn't matter what the hell it is, about 300 views. I don't know if it's a YouTube thing where it's just, they just never recommend my videos to people or what. I don't know. But 300 views gets me almost $1, depending on the ads. Flaming Heron says, this is a passion project then? Yeah, it always has been. I've said previously that the gaming gang started with myself and my best friend, Elliot Miller, as a way for us to stay in touch, because I was out in Phoenix, Arizona area, and Elliot was back here in the Chicago area. And he was starting to, get back into board games and things like that. And he had told me, hey, once again, this is not a knock on anybody. He said, hey, I listened to this podcast. You should check it out. It's called The Dice Tower. And I gave it a listen. I listened to a few episodes. And then next time I talked to Elliot, I said, hey, we could do way better than that. Talk about the podcast. And, that's a lot of people, watching this don't realize 13 years ago, our podcast was popular. The Gaming Gang podcast was pretty popular, and people could tell that we were lifelong friends. That was like super obvious. So, but Elliot moved on, started doing voice of E, and now he doesn't even do that anymore. So Chris Lundgren says, YouTube unsubbed you 3 times without me asking them to. Always check to see if you're still subscribed. Kevin King says, Gen X is well represented here. Yeah, I would think that the crowd around here is probably 40s and 50s. That is my guess. That is pretty much my guess here. But, channels aren't really built on that audience for the most part. But yeah, that's okay. It's not that big a deal. I mean, I wouldn't imagine anybody who's, although funny enough, Elliot's daughter watches this show from time to time. And she's like 17. But I wouldn't imagine younger people would want to watch me anyway. So it's like, okay. All righty then. James Eck is with us in chat. I forgot to say hello to James. Funny enough, I thought we were going to have Hankering for an Ale popping on into chat tonight, but it's possible he was not a subscriber for 48 hours. So that might have been a problem. Although I could have swore he had popped into chat before when I was covering some, I think it was index card role playing. So, but don't know. I was actually kind of hoping they would, because then we could kind of talk about Crown and Skull and get a little more detail about the, like core mechanics of the game. So the Man points out that they really don't care how old their players are. Their Savage Worlds group has some players in their mid-20s. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I run stuff all the time with teenagers and now early 20s too, so that doesn't bother me. As long as, they don't act like goofballs. Don't have I don't allow the phones at the table anyway, but if they were younger and with their faces in their phones or tablets and stuff like that, I would not allow that at my table. But as far as age, doesn't matter to me. Anywho, well, I guess that is it for this time out. If you are watching live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, a bigger thank you, because not only are you keeping me company, you're keeping each other company. And of course, give the video a thumbs up. That helps. That helps spread the word. That's engagement. Yes. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you have not already. And if you do subscribe, ring that bell, because it'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my first look at Starfinder, Scoured Stars, which came out this morning. Yes, you can take a peek at that. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, if you have an opportunity, please comment on the videos, because that is also another great way to help get the YouTube gods to share the videos with other people who are, of similar interests. Anywho, everybody enjoy the rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. And of course, I will be back on Tuesday. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and until I see you next time, here's hoping all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.